Altergeist gives us a massive shakeup out here, showing that while the titans of the meta are challenging each other, this is interesting. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So, certain parts of the world here, we are starting to notice degeneracy starting to form in this meta. I'm not going to lie to you, depending on how this meta continues to evolve, we might reduce talking about it. But for now, we have a very, very interesting rogue contender in this. But this format is kind of, like I said, in certain areas, it's turning into the Battle of the Titans. And the Titans are Tenpai and the Snake Eyes variants. While, you know, Tenpai, I've read from most people, it's not like it's a terrible deck to play against. It's just, sometimes, I mean, the deck is just hand trap central. That is their entire point, all right? They're going to basically just throw those 23 hand traps in your face, use their small card engine, and then just, you know, run you over as they're attempting to go for game. That's exactly what we're expecting out here. Also, Konami made the deck extremely cheap, so if you're looking forward to Tenpai Dragons getting cleaned up in the future, it's definitely a possibility. Now, on the flip side of that equation over here, you also have the Snake Eyes variants, which nothing has changed in the world of the Snake Eyes variants. Both of these, you know, Titans have been kind of doing the thing. The Snake Eyes variants have been evolving. I think the Kashtira variant has been one that has shown more promise as of late. You gotta love Fenrir and Unicorn being cards that, you know, exist to kind of control the meta out here. But that's what you're looking at out here in terms of your contenders. Now, the thing that made me want to cover this event was the fact that we had an Altergeist player stepping into the arena out here and showcasing that, you know, this deck can actually do something. Now, maybe not so much against Tenpai, like, let's be honest there, but it's cool nonetheless that you could see, you know, this kind of enter into the arena. Now remember, this is not cumulative of all places in the world because Rogue has been shining all other places. But for now, that's what we're looking at out of this event. Let's pass on over to those deck lists. So winning our event here is the Tenpai Dragon Special. First thing that catches my eye here is we're actually main decking triple Fenrir, and I kind of like the idea of having Fenrir present as one of those, you know, toggle for yourself, gives you a discard outlet for the field spell, depending on how things go, and so forth. And of course, we actually see a Pot of Desires in here as well. I've not seen very many people wanting to try Desires. Most of us have been pretty much looking at Pot of Prosperity and going, yes, this is all we need. But drawing that extra card off of Desires in a situation where you might need it is actually pretty good. Also, look at that side deck down there. Triple Book of Eclipse, the triple Droll, the triple Ghost Bill, the triple Crow, and the triple Cosmic. This deck has a job, all right? And its job is to get in your opponent's face as quick as possible and end the game. All right, also, a free Special Summon Fenrir is technically an extra chunk of damage on your opponent. Yeah, I know, right? It's so easy to look at the numbers for this deck and go, wow. All right, so our second place here is Snake Eyes. Wow, both of the challengers here were very, very up there. I do see that this version is playing a Birch, though. I've heard some interesting arguments, I guess, for Birch, which has been good. You do see this build is playing triple Unicorn in here. Wow. We've gotten to the point that, you know, who needs Fenrir, all right? We're just going to rely on the Unicorn. Honestly, that extra deck rip is very, very crucial on a lot of opponents. I think a lot of people have kind of missed the little note with that. And also, you know, Birth being able to bring back another piece of the puzzle is also pretty good. You also do see the Metaltronus down there. We've been seeing that as a very strong tech choice ever since the YCS came through. Hey, who knows, man? Mirror match cards that are there to kind of help out and control your opponents very good. You also do see we have a copy of Silvera in the side deck as well. Silvera is starting to see a little bit more play. We'll have to wait and see how that one holds up, though, for future tech trends. All right, we also have, oh boy, more Snake Eyes. Now, in terms of your differences for this one, instead of going triple, you know, Unicorn, gas, where you do see the one Unicorn, the one Fenrir, but this build is actually dedicating the slots to the triple Raceloth, which nothing wrong with Raceloth, actually. I figured the last build would have actually given the time and day to Raceloth, because Raceloth guarantees that search, but I guess maybe they're a little bit too expensive. Be one of the major things I would see here, considering, you know, price on modern era Yu-Gi-Oh cards nonetheless. All other real things to consider here. I see that we do have one berth in the main. That's fine. You do have the Draco Sack play. Oh boy, here we go. Make some tokens. Link Climb. You have the Solemn Judgment is a stupid card this format, by the way. I want you to know that. I have lost so many games to Solemn Judgment on the normal summon Pydra. You're just like, well, that's all, folks. It's literally the experience. There's nothing you can really do about it. All right, 4th place here. Wow. All of our Snake Eyes players climbed up here and had a chance at this. You do see the Snake Eyes Diabell Star up there, so it's actually kind of cool to actually see we're playing the one of that. This build extended out the package. We're on 2 Unicorn, 2 Fenrir. I also do see here that this build took things a little bit further than what we're used to seeing, with triple Econ and triple Forbidden Droplets in here. Holy crap, they wanted to make sure that they could board break any situation that came up here. And honestly, I think that's a pretty good thing. You want to make sure that whatever your opponent's trying to do, you can pressure them out. The side deck down here, the Change of Heart, the Heavy, the Heartbeast Feather Duster, you have the Mind Controls, you have the Snatch Deal. Your opponent's not having fun. Like, honestly, you're also boarding in the extra copy of the Fenrir as well, in case you need to see it for the control aspect of things. I'm actually kind of disgusted with how good this build actually is. Now, Tenpai Dragon Supremacy time. So we have the triple Forbidden Droplet. Droplet's going to be a main deck staple, I feel like, forever for this deck, just because you want to make sure that you can see it while you're pressuring through. Still sticking to the 2 Fadra. Your hand trap lineup here, a lot of 2-ofs. You have the 2 Bells, the 2 Drolls, the 2 Ogres, and the 2 Mourners with the triple Veiler. Holy crap. You do see that we are focusing also on the triple Pot of Prosperity. That's not going to change. You do see, hey, look, it's Heatwave down here. You know what our first place list wasn't playing? Heatwave. You also have the triple copies of Dimension Shifter down there. I've heard a lot of people are kind of iffy on Dimension Shifter in this deck. I don't blame you for that. Shifter is a little bit of a nuisance to play around, but the logic behind it is, it messes up your opponent more than it messes you up. So your job is to capitalize on, the Shifter play and attempt to push through for game. Typically, you can get there, I feel like. It's just, that's what you need to do, is just pressure through and do your job. Hey, look, more Tenpais. Now, this is back to what we were seeing earlier here. You do see the Pot of Desires in the deck as the one-of, which is fine. You do see the triple Veiler, the triple Ghost Ogre here. No Drolls built into the main, no Bells in the main, but you do see them push down into the side deck down there. You also do see this build is playing the Kawaki Mero Drago as well. Draco was something that we were starting to see in the turns that, you have to go into the seals in order to kind of do your thing. You can beam on out into, a Kawaki Mero Drago and punish your opponent. It's actually not a terrible idea. The only real concern I have about it is, well, that means I guess I want to go first. But, you have enough hand traps. You should be able to set up a pretty disgusting board about 95% of the time. Outside of that, though, you have been seeing a lot of Warp Gate, no real Samurai Destroyer showing up out here. Honestly, I do like the idea behind Samurai Destroyer, but Warp Gate has just been showing such huge promise out here. And, whoa, this build, we have another Tenpai Dragon here. This one's actually sporting off the Tzolk'in with the Crystal Wing play. And it ripped out a lot of the extra deck reverse OTK stuff with the Promethean Princess and some of that. And instead, you do have the SP and the Striker Dragon. That way you can kind of do the rip. But if this build feels like it gets dimensional buried, I don't know, I feel like you're kind of picking up your cards and calling it a day. You also do see that we are playing one Race Sloth in the main with 2 copies of the Fenrir. And I also see that we're sporting off a set rotation as well. Okay. Outside of that, the side deck, once again, we have those Santa Claus down here. I guess people really want to hold on to the idea of having a good kaiju. Santa Claus does kind of help you out in that situation, blinking over an opponent's monster while you just kind of gas on through it. And I guess the dimensional barriers are kind of interesting. A lot of these builds just not even choosing to have the dimensional barriers, which is actually kind of insane to me. And we have our Altergeist list back here. Holy crap, it has been a journey to see Altergeist actually kind of coming to fruition here. First interesting thing down here is most of these Altergeist lists, you do see that we are playing the Promethean Princess package in here. You need to understand that being able to have that Promethean Princess defensive option is something that maybe Altergeist didn't really think that they would actually get, but they can now have access to because Hexty is just free built into the deck. You also do see the Triple Secret Village down there in the side deck. You already know. you're rolling Secret Village against your opponent. Your opponent's going to stare at you and they're going to go, wow, this is such skilled Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, it is. But that's why you play, or it's why a deck like this is able to play degenerate cards. Also, Evenly Match is kind of free real estate for this deck, especially if you go second. You're like, oh, hey, by the way, we'll go ahead and evenly match, clear up your field. People really prepared for that this format? I don't know, maybe evenly is just feels a lot better than it actually is. Not like there's a lot of negates for it to, run into, but okay. So, make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. You guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Peace out. Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.